Hi, and welcome to the show. We're going to look at SPY and a couple of select sectors and talk about Fibonacci a little bit more to answer a question somebody asked me on Discord. I thought I'd do it here and clarify a point I was making the other day, again, here on a video, which will be helpful for people. So SPY, today, here we have it, and those Fibonacci lessons closed at 398. So testing back at $400 again. Turn off the drawings. Grey with blue and orange background. Thanks very much for being here, everybody. I just loaded the chat box up and saw how many of you were. Great to see you. And then I also saw the donations that came in there. I'll get to them in a second. Thanks so very much. Right, so testing back at 400. That was what we looked at, open interest, and saw those 405 levels would be tough to break. Come back down, test 400, the gap that we spoke about, it's now been filled, and we've wicked a little bit lower. And then the question becomes, how much of this retrace have we done against this previous move to the top side, right? So these are the lows that we most recently came from, and this is clearly a high at 420 from down there at 350. Now, the retracement we made down to 391 and then up again puts this retracement in context. So that's how I would also answer the question I had on Discord earlier. So here is this move, a couple of different moves, various ways of looking at it. From those lows at 350 to the high at 409, we had a move and a retracement back down again before going higher. Now the retracement back down again from the highs on the 1st of December on SPY took us to a 382 and then 50% retracement, right? 236, 382, 50%. And at this 50% level, where this green arrow comes in, right? That's this Fibonacci here. This is 50% level. We bounce back up again, and you might be looking off the back of a 50% retracement for a 1.13 extension on your next Fibonacci move up. That might be your target. That's what we spoke about the other day. So you had that move, and then a little bit further, didn't quite take you on to the 1618 and 1414 and so on. But that 1.13, and you know, maybe you got another one in there as well, but I don't include them all. So at that point, you then put in another local high, having retraced back down below a 236. Again, this is very heavy on the Fibonacci, but that's because of the lesson that is about Fibonacci. So at this point, price action retraced again, and we measure that retracement with this fib, which I'll change the color of just to make this point, make it green. Right, so at this point, we came back from that high and we went back up again, right? Retraced against this high. The retracement down was against this Fibonacci, this guy, low to high. This low came in at golden pocket retracement. So you would be looking at this and thinking it could potentially move back up from a golden pocket, right? So a 236 retracement, that go beyond that, you define a local low, a 382, and then go on again. You'll only be looking for a 1.13 extension. A 50% retracement here, then you probably look for a 1.13, maybe 1.227, maybe looking for a 1.414, but you wouldn't expect that. You would only anticipate the 1.13 as being a reliable target. And then after that, obviously, you've got other TA, but we're only talking about what you'd learn from this one tool. And then the retracement then from that high, back down again, moving back to the top side after, we've only so far made it to a golden pocket retracement on this previous fib. We've not made the extension, we've not broken the previous high, and we're not yet looking to put in moves to these top side. But if we were, having come back down and tested here at a golden pocket, then you would look to the next potential high within these oscillations being in around a 1618. And when you see them all line up like this, you can also then look across at these other extensions, right? These are the extensions from the previous move, which we're now talking about as being a potential trend change with higher highs and higher lows. So that would be a definitive point in the market, and we'd use it as our bottom going forward at that target there, our next local low, until such times as we establish a higher high. So we're basing it off this retracement how far we've got in a golden pocket, and then you're thinking 1618 extension if it goes to the top side. If it breaks down completely, you might be looking then at this having a further breakdown and that targeting somewhere in around a 1618 back down here. It might be, so 350 not completely off the table by a long shot. But in advance of that, you've got your 1618 of this guy, and that's in at around 383, right? So this is the downside target, this arrow here, if price action breaks down based on the golden pocket retracement over here, right? And if you were to measure out then this Fibonacci, which it isn't technically, you know, the low within the trend, but you can still do it, and see that the 1.13 extension on this guy matches up perfectly with the 1618, and that would be this guy breaking down with the same oscillations within it, right? So we talked about going the other way. So 1618 being the extension from the golden pocket, if we do break out back up again, is one way of looking to these higher targets. But like I said, we'd be using this then as our local low. So we could then use retracements against this move, the move from the end of December, start of January, in at around 375, up to the local high in around 420. That retracement back down again could then be measuring the strength of it, which, as you see, which is, I'll delete this guy so that you can see him. Well, draw him again, so delete him. This is the retracement measured. The strength of that is from this low is measured in the left here with this arrow, and it got to a golden pocket. And if we're to then say it breaks this prior high, we can use our Fibonacci extension tool that we talked about, I think it was earlier this week. We talked about how you use that, right? How you would drop it in from the previous high to the low, and then it's 3 clicks and gives you extensions in line with the same direction of trend rather than retracements against it. It's an extension. Talking about Fibonacci expansions. And these are the expansion targets from those retracement levels. If we're to use this then, the Fibonacci extension tool, the trend-based extension tool, we can see that those targets match up with a 50% retracement on the top side, a 1618. So if this thing breaks out, and we do see it break its prior high at 417 to 420, without creating a lower low than 392, then people will be looking for a 1618, and it matches up with a 50%, which is what you'd be thinking in terms of a bullish oscillation within this particular formation. You would think a 50% would work out, especially because we touched on the 50% retracement back at the start of it. This thing retraced 50% here when it put in the local low. So you'd be looking at a 50% then extension on the expansion after it confirms it is in an upward trend, which when we look left again, measure this retracement back down again, 1.13 extension also comes in at exactly the same level. So there's an awful lot of confluence there up at around 430 to 440. And the same thing could be said if you were to be flipping the fibs and doing the extension to the downside and saying beyond 383, you're looking at in at around 350. So 350 to 440, those are the two extremes on SPY. So that's the lesson earlier, and hopefully it's valuable to everybody in lots of different ways, depending on how well you do or don't understand Fibonacci. Now, that was SPY, and I did this on a fresh chart so that I could make that point. So none of the select sectors will have any information on them. Energy did the worst at 1.03% to the downside in a very tight market where not much has moved. So typically and traditionally, I suppose is a better word, energy is seen as an inflationary hedge. So if inflation is no longer the important part of the narrative, then perhaps certain parts of the energy sector take a hit where they wouldn't otherwise have done so. And that might speak to some of the reason why energy has performed so well over the past couple of years. So you'll be looking at energy perhaps coming back down even further than it already has done. Put it on the weekly time frame, it doesn't look like that at all yet, but a little bit, like I say, a couple of years of positive price action here. It may well be that as the narrative surrounding inflation cools down, ahead of the inflation itself, right? Because it's quite clear that Jerome's strategy is persist until the inflation comes down, right? Now, the market is then managing to digest the news that we were saying that would have to about how market price rates will be higher for longer. This phrase that he himself adopted a couple of months ago. So the markets are still managing to digest that, and that doesn't mean that like there's one single person out there getting their head around the idea. There's an awful lot of different people readjusting based on the news, is what that means. And energy, as an inflationary hedge, might then cool off a little bit, because the narrative of inflation will then itself be soon to cool off. And as such, we were previously looking at companies then whose earnings will outperform inflation. So a very shorthand, non-analytical way of saying that is invest in companies whose earnings outperform interest rates. Like you're getting better than you would on a 20-year treasury bond, or a 10 or a 5, whatever it is you take a preference. And so, so the point I'm trying to make there is that there's a lot of different money moving in lots of different directions, and the select sectors can a little bit give us a highlight to if SPY's not moving, which it isn't much, and like we just it's between two ferns, and we have the select sectors, then it'll give us a little bit of information with regards to where certain types of money is or isn't going. And it isn't particularly going into energy, XLE. That's the short select sector that had the worst performing day today. The best performing day today was XLRE, which is one I don't commonly talk about. It's the real estate select sector. Now I just don't talk about this ticker, because I would more commonly talk about the REIT watch list that we've got here, and we've done shows specifically on this, and things like VNQ, which is the real estate investment trust with nearly more money than every other one invested in it. So if you're looking long, you just look at that. And if you're looking short, you look at something like SRS, which is like 3 times short. Ultra short. Yo, fresh. So yeah, Ibisius. If you're so that it's right, Tradespotting. It's late in the evening here in the UK. My brain is away already. So I had a point to make there. Right, select sectors. Yeah. So real estate. Yeah. So this is also another important one to look to, because the Federal Reserve is a government institution, but it's owned by the big banks. So this is not a trick. It's a deliberate system so that everyone's accountable within that system. Very much like other systems you might have heard of, right? Like the DTCC and so on, right? And so all those red flags go from, yeah, that's all correct. So, and they clearly are in charge of the money supply, along with loads of other things like the rates. And there's 2 important things to protect in America at these points of inflection on the market. One of them is the banks. And so the way that the rates are adjusted is also takes into account any potential whiplash, terrible, awful impact it could have on the banking system. So that's not to say that this would be a consideration for Jerome and Co. when they're making their decisions, but it certainly helps when you've got a narrative to go to and say, well, if we do this, it will at least be good for the finance sector, right? Now, I don't know exactly what he's going to do, but I do know that if he manages to keep interest rates higher for longer, then that's the lifeblood of the financial sector. Without speculation as part of the industry, it's all about how they generate an income from the products that they provide, especially retail banks, to customers, and they make a margin off the interest rate. So the higher the interest rate, the higher their profit margin. This is how banks work. It's not it shouldn't be that side of banking that you're a good bank because you're run by some maverick CEO. That's not how that industry works. It's a very hard science side of things. So, this is XLF. This is the finance sector, and it may well be then that you're looking at this thing, which is clearly doing very, very well. You can look at it on the daily time frame. That's not the same formation. It's very similar, but it's not the same formation you're seeing on SPY. Well and truly broke out of its wedge ages ago. I mean, it broke out of it there. August 22nd, it broke out of that downward sloping channel / wedge that was true of SPY until, it's still true of SPY. Right, so it's like, it's debatable, but it's not really, because these things, right? So, right, we can just go back to SPY and show you it, right? So look, there's this SPY, turn off drawings, and like this, they'll come back on again now, but that's the line there, right? So SPY, it's only just retested that breakout, right? There's nothing confirmed yet. So there's a big distinction, and it's been as a result of Jerome's policies, which will likely have further implications. As this is how the market's reacting, isn't it? Higher for longer, right? Adjusting to that narrative means that the speculation, right, and the growth, and that'll take a little while longer. And so the focus still to a degree on companies with earnings that exceed interest rates, or, those who are still providing shareholder value despite the inflationary pressure on those positions. So that's what we're thinking about, right? And then growth would typically be in XLK. This tech, I say typically, this is where everyone they would watch this sort of show would be looking. This thing's made its 50% retracement, and that sort of question mark is something that we'd also be talking about when we look at SPY, and we made this point yesterday. Every bear market since 1953, this is not going to work on this chart. I definitely have to get another one up. This one. Yes, every bear market since, is this going to give me it? It's not, is it? Maybe it is. Yeah, so in every bear market, 1953, here is them. You probably don't want to see every single one. It's like when somebody does this and you're like, okay, I believe you, right? So, but just believe me, or else watch yesterday's episode. 1953, and it goes back to 1930, but, I even bored myself doing it. But, you go back and you see that when it puts in its ultimate low, after it's recovered a 50% of that previous, that entire down move that took it into the bear market and then finished the bear market, once you've made a 50% retracement against that high to low, then that bear market's over. And that's maybe it isn't over in your pocket, probably isn't, right? Or maybe it's not quite made it to, mainstream media or whatever, but the economy is different, right? This is the stock market, and it doesn't care what anyone thinks, right? It's like the economy's version of Jordan Peterson, right? When the economy goes onto YouTube just to relax or to learn about trading, and it gets foisted onto it a short with Jordan Peterson, who's got positives. I'm not, don't like me, I'm not saying that, but he'll get fed to you, right? Like it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that's what the stock market is for the economy, right? It's like, no, sorry, we're going up. This is the answer. I don't care what you've right, okay, and so on, right? I'm sure there's a better analogy I could draw, but probably also wouldn't. It's a touchy subject, that Jordan Peterson thing, isn't it? I don't know. Is it a subject or is he a person? Who knows, right? I don't know. Larger than life, so he is. Big J. Right. So we want to go through 50% retracement there. SPX, that'd be 4180. I mean, you could call it 4195, right? Just because that's then definitely past 4180. And they'd be targeting up at the next high there, right? Not all that crazy. But also, we know that it's actually a lot farther up than that. Just looking at Fibonacci, you'd say it's a lot further up than that. As we did earlier when we started the show there. Right, so that was that. And then we had donations that came in from people. What did they say? XD 710. Boyle. Boyle. That's not completely in a different universe from what we were talking about right there. Okay, so this guy need updated. We'll start on the daily time frame. Sure, start on today. Why not? Get the indicators up. Come on. So the volatility happened, and then you're looking at this potential trend change. Is the momentum changed yet? Pulling out the bearish control zone. Stochastics, the top side, did what we've seen so far, arrested that descent. You would have needed at least that, I suppose, considering. And then the strength of trend was not really strong enough. So this retracement has left gaps and everything else. What was the question? Boyle. Inverted head and shoulder on the 4 hour. Bullish if it holds the golden pocket at 5.4 from all-time low. Fib to recent high at $8. Take profit 6.0. What a great message. Sure, what a great message. Stally's at $20. Hey Jamie, can you take a look at Rolls Royce? You betcha just after I do this one. This one where I gotta read that message as well in a second. Could be around lately. It's great to see it. I am working on fixing to keep up. I hope you're doing good, Sally. Don't worry. It's great to see you. Minner, $5. That was yesterday. 2 isn't possible from here, but minimum was 5 over here. But that was thanks better. That was brilliant. Right. So, X, what did you say there? Boyle. Yeah, this is a good one. Boyle, 4 hour inverted head and shoulders. Well, what's it look like? Oh, no need to start on fucking 2D. What am I like? Make it work for myself there. 4 hour inverted head and shoulders. So that's what you're thinking there. This being one of the shoulders, that being a horizontal, that obviously makes sense. Filled this previous gap. Don't see anything serious there to worry about in the 4 hour. You've previously did have that inflation. You've come back below there. You've got your bullish divergence. I mean, I say that you don't have anything confirmed there, but you do. You don't. Nor are you at when it comes. That's just too small. What am I trying to achieve with these tiny, tiny indicator panels? Right, so that's below the center line. It's not fantastic. You don't have your inverted head and shoulders on the RSI. The ideal head and shoulders, right, for everybody. This, because it's, I might as well say it, right? Oops, that's the wrong one. It's this one. Yeah, head and shoulders, right? I know you love the head and shoulders. I know you love the head and shoulders. It's the only one for you. I know, it's the only one. Not you, but everyone. It's all you ever wanted was the head and shoulders. You know, when you were growing up, you wanted, I wish I could have head and shoulders, and that, and you would see all your friends would have head and shoulders, and you'd want a head and shoulders, and you never got a head and shoulders. And at Christmas time come along, you'd be like, please, mommy, Dad, can I have a head and shoulders? And they just wouldn't get you. They get you some sort of portable handheld thing or some, you know, fake plastic, right? Head and shoulders. And all you wanted was a real, authentic, branded head and shoulders. So you were one of the cool kids again. And that's all you really want is a head and shoulders, right? There are so many other possible chart formations in the world that you could have that I would urge you to investigate them. But I know you want a head and shoulders. So if that's what you're looking for, that one is the branded one, right? Not the knockoff one with like Reeboky or, you know, Abibas, but the branded one that comes with its own head and shoulders on RSI, right? It comes with one free. You get 2 for 1 free, 2 for 1. The good ones, 2 for 1, 2 for 1 free. Good 2 for 1, 2 for 1 free, 1 for free, 2 for 1. Buy one now, you get one free. That's what it means. And there's one on the RSI as well as on the price action. Now, if you don't have that, there are plenty. It's not like you need it necessarily. It's just the best ones do. And there's reasons for that as well. Although other things you could have would be a formation, like there's a trend line on the RSI, but it's not actually had 3 touches yet, as you can see. This is hard to select the end of my lines now. You'll have to bear with me. It's because the cursor, if you've not noticed, it used to be a big floppy pink dildo. People kept saying it was a crayon. So here's a packet of crayons, right? Which you can see clearly look nothing like that pink floppy dildo. It's purple, Tradespotting. Anywho, right, this is a trend line, and you've only got 2 touches. You need another 3rd touch, and that would come in line with meeting the top of the bearish control zone. Itself, a level of potential resistance to the trend or support from falling lower, right? It would be called support. That level, which should be the next one to look to having broken the center line. It could well be there, right? And that would be a 3rd touch, which would suggest price action is actually not going to maintain this important horizontal level we're looking at on that 4-hour time frame, right? So, you know, you can go to the daily time frame where you've also got the inverted head and shoulders, and you don't have the trend line to look to, but you are holding your own moving average, but you do see a rejection from the centerline RSI. But that's not the point we're making. But you don't get, you're again not getting any confirmation of an artifact here that supports the thesis on price action, which you would like, because this is a reversal formation. And if you're looking for the price to reverse, you would like that to have happened after momentum's like giving you signals that that's at least possible. And that would be something that you'd see from the RSI pulling out of the bearish control zone for sure. Hold support on price action. It doesn't need the RSI to hold support for it to do so, because the RSI itself is a product of price, obviously. But so if it holds that level and the RSI itself could then slip down and meet this trend line, but you'd get your inverted head and shoulders, you'd get a touch of that trend line there. Well, at least you get a touch to the top of the bearish control zone in the 4 hour. Whether or not you meet that trend line at that point, not really important, but you probably would. You cross the stochastics to the top side. I mean, you're not getting much there. There is no cross, and it's not in the best level, and it's not supporting a move up, so that's for sure. The DMI, on the other hand, Rocky's DMI does suggest that there's a positive trend still in ascendancy, which is, of course, would be the case until you start making lower lows on price action, probably, nearly definitely, unless there was big divergence there, which is a massive sign. And then you're looking at the volatility. So what was the question? You've got a trade set up, so I can draw it out. Is that Fibonacci targets? Well, I've probably got them on there, but I'll double check. And then, let me see, 5 spot 40 entry. I have to draw the fib so I find a stop. I have to draw the fib to find a stop. Well, imagine 540, it'll be somewhere near it. So 540, what's this? 540. Well, you're talking about a little bit of a dip already anyway. Yeah, that's not bad, man. That matches up with the lows on the left side of the formation. I'm not showing the chart on my stream. Oh, thanks, Rocky. Shit.
And I jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the streets, the traffic starts jumping with folks like me on the job.
So I can't believe I was not showing the charts on my screen there. How long was that happening for? Anyway, there's your inverted head and shoulders, and here's your daily time frame, 4 hour time frame. Thanks, Rocky. Yeah, it's what time? It's 11 o'clock. Right, that's the 200 period moving average. Let's just come up on this. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good, Sputter. I'm so silly. I'm sorry. Hey. So the next time I say something to you like, why does nobody watch me on YouTube? What's wrong? Why no one watching me? You can just say Tradespotting because you forget you're not looking at anything all the time. And half the time you're muted, and the other half you're not looking at your chart, Spotter. Right, so you're looking at this, and typically you would want your stop to be within the formation is as it is, and you can't ever. I mean, you could paint them on yourself if you were, but you can't, unfortunately. So what you're saying there is you would like the shoulder low to be within some artifact or the final support. That's why these formations are better when they're smaller, and I don't really like an inverted head and shoulders. So, I mean, it's great as what it is. It's actually better when it fails, because you kind of nearly always get the same measured move anyway, right? But that's another top tip. But so you're looking at this thing, and yeah, that would be the right entry. Your stop then, if you were trying to take it from the prior low, would be what, from that 5 there down to, wait, that can't be 5. You said you're entering at 450, didn't you? No, it's 540. Yeah, so 540 whatever, and then a stop at 440. That's a $1 on a $5.40. That's like, to what's that, 20% or something silly, right? That's like way too big a stop distance. But you didn't say that. You said something else like hold the golden pocket. Probably this golden pocket, but that'd be a good one. Yeah, so I mean, you're defining that with like, I mean, is the golden pocket below there, or is that the one you were talking about? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe you were talking about some other from like the 236 here. Why is this? Where's this low updated? It is. Yeah. So, I mean, you're not getting it all that much. I don't know which Fibonacci you're using. I think this golden pocket's actually really tight. Maybe it's like actually at your entry, or around 534 for the full golden pocket being finished, which would be a really tight stop. And if you're using that, then fair play. Very, very good to see it, because there's very little on this head that I was about to say there, but got distracted. There's very little on this head here, other than that retracement that you're talking. There's and the distance from here to there is so massive. Is that a gap? Is it on the 4 hour as well? It's not on the 4 hour, okay. So yeah, I mean, that's great, and that is a good tight stop if that's what you're looking at. I mean, if you're looking at getting in at 540 and then the golden pockets there like 534, I mean, blue and neck, that's a really good tight stop. The inverted head and shoulders in and of itself, and this distance on the RSI suggests that might be a little bit too tight. You know, I'd like to see, you know, that's a maybe. And if it is too tight and the ATR agrees with you, or a couple of add it together, and maybe you're looking at a 786 here. Whoa, a 786 retracement on this guy. And in which case you could just enter right on the 786, and then maybe you would be thinking we could use that hourly gap at the bottom and try and work a slightly tighter. If you are looking for a really, really tight stop, then the frequency of getting taken out here on this sort of a formation would be too high for you to make money on that year after year. You'd need and so I'd be looking at 786s and using that gap. And if I was using that tight stop, that's what I'd be thinking. I'd also want the rocket outcrop flash on. Why have I not got that indicator there? It is on. Thank goodness. Right. Whew. Is there any flashes on it? That would make it a lot easier, yo. Anyway, so I hope that's some help. What was the target you were talking about? I'd be looking at the 236. Am I still on boil? 4 hours. Yeah, I'd be looking at this 236 at 744. What were you saying? 6, 7, 7, 60, 9, 10. Macro 236 from the high at 141. Is that this one? No, it's this guy somewhere around here. This 236, 10. Yeah, that's good. Matches up with the 382. Well, yeah, sure. You break through 236, possibly. There's the high within the previous formation, also in at that level, 1060. That's a really good trade. The entry signal you're getting is actually a bit shit, though. No offense. No offense, obviously, right? Who would be offended by that? But it's there, and it's the real thing, and it's like not shit, a bit shit because blah 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 whatever. I've got some prejudice against head and shoulders. No, I also grew up wanting one of them. It's sloppy, you know. They're a bit sloppy. Traditionally, they're a bit sloppy, and that all, you know, especially with the neckline already being higher on the right here, with that anomalous candle that left its gap below, it's still being and it being positive at the time. This is just still scary breakout. Didn't get any retest on that. That's why inverted head and shoulders are better than just let's go straight up, bro stuff. But it's still very. In terms of what the value they then do provide you, it's on helping you with execution, really, isn't it? I mean, you can work out your targets other ways, and the elasticity within the formation itself is the rocket outcrop and rise way of doing it. It's better than looking at measured moves if you've got a complex formation on the go anyway. So at this stage, you'd be looking, 236 and a 382, but your entry on this thing would be really tight. So it'd be, you know, like you're saying, keep it really tight at that golden pocket. Try again at 786, try again at 886. 3 goes with a stop that's that tight. You probably would learn bits about it at each attempt, and then you'd also get, you know, the risk reward on it's pretty good. If it did then break back up out of this formation, you know you would be onto something there. And moving your stop into profit when you've got such a good understanding of why you entered, what your plan is, how you'll react if it drops or moves, it means you can then adjust your position and manage it really well going forward, like with stops, taking profit. Like you said, great plan. Thanks, Eeks. Dally, $20. Thanks so much. Hey, Jimmy, can you take a quick look at Rolls Royce? Is 149 a reasonable place for a stop loss in profit? Yes, off the top of my head. Or do you see any pivot points a bit higher up? Well, it got to 179 earlier, didn't it? We were looking at 180 was the... I mean, there is loads of places higher up, yeah. What are we thinking here with Rolls Royce then? What were you thinking, Dally? There was a guy earlier on Rocky's did an amazing stream earlier. If you didn't see Rocky's, does it once a week at the minute, which is like fair play to him. You know, I didn't. So it was really proud that he's doing that. It's awesome. And you should definitely check it out too, because he puts loads of work in beforehand. It's a brilliant stream. It's really useful if you haven't seen it. Anyway, so look, there's this. Anyway, whatever, man. Some people are. Anywho, so you want to get in there, right? You want to enjoy that and laugh at the silly people and put the live chat replay up and that. It's real quality there. If you're watching it back and you missed any of it and saw something, get the live chat replay up. Chat box is brilliant. So, like, I'm sure it is here, but I'm not seeing it as much because I'm too busy working. Right, so what was I saying? So, a lot, it turned out there, I've noticed. You got this move and you were looking at it breaking up and we were saying, yeah, wow, 250, what planet am I on? That's ridiculous. Weekly time frame. Yeah, that's fair enough, actually. Right, so there's your inverted head and shoulders. This is the problem with a stupid, with a lovely, beautiful inverted head and shoulders, is that, like, and you know, people here will have been aware of it because yourself may be included, because we were all trying to get in on this for ages. Ages and ages and ages. We got this one here, and then it had that crazy move up, and everyone was shocked at 150. And so we got this, because they hadn't even got a CEO in that. Anyway, there was this right shoulder. We were anticipating it potentially coming back down to these sort of levels, and it did. Where was it? 68 or whatever, going there around that. 65 maybe. Anyway, brilliant. And then you're talking about, what was the question? 149, a good stop. 200 period moving average comes in at weekly time frame 135. Since price action took this extended move, you know, that was a bull flag, continuation bull flag. Now you've not really got that. You could easily have some sort of a pennant on this, pardon me. And if that was, you know, the equivalent of that sort of thing. I mean, this is just an illustrative point. This is not to make a trade. Right, so I mean, if it did do something like that, you know, right, that like bear flag idea where it goes sideways again here, and you could easily come down. It's not exceeded this prior high by significant distance. It could easily come back down and test something like that 200 period moving average. It's in at around 135. So, and it hasn't tested it since it's gone through it. That might be where it comes to on a retest without it being, just at first glance, not unreasonable, you would say, right? There's other things you can do, like technical analysis. So there's the low in the head and shoulders. That's not the be-all and end-all of this formation. Like, the right shoulder is the definitive part that you're hoping breaks the trend. So this would be the low to look to if you were measuring lows. But to make the point again, from that high of 236 would come back down to the previous level where you broke out from, right? So if this thing does want to go on and test 270 in the 1618 extension, which is still totally possible and in fact will at some point happen, I think, that would be making another, what, 80% move, or what is it? It says it here. It was 179 from the low. What would it be from here, though? Yeah, it's another 70%. So it would you could easily see it come back and test a 200 period moving average on the weekly if it's going to go on and make another 70% move, right? When it's Rolls Royce, a 200 period moving average on the weekly would probably be a bounce. So down is daily, or where is that 200 now? It's way down. And anyway, we're not trying to make that point. I wanted to take it from this low and make it to this high. 236 would be at 130. That also matches up, you know. So now we're getting Confluence. Yo, Homer's Ghost. This is an anniversary. It might be because it's that time of night. If not, amazing. Where's the chat box till I find him? There he is, bing bong. He didn't. He just put in his message. Homer, how are you? Love you, Holmes. Love you. Right, so we're back to this thing. Yeah, Rolls Royce, yeah. Oh, it's so exciting, isn't it? Oh, I bet the viewership went up so much because every time I say the word Rolls Royce, viewership goes up so much. It's incredible. Users are hitting it. Your watch time increases. You don't open more tabs or anything. It's just both eyes then become engaged independently and conscious of each other as well. And amazing. Every day is special with Tradespotting. Yeah, every day is so special as well. Special day. You know, how lucky are you? Every day's special. Hit that like button. So this thing, 130, so very likely. And then there's this huge gap at the 382, and that's at 114. So a safe area for a stop at 130, maybe, but if it gets there, you know, probably that would be, no, 149. You'd probably get taken out on the way to 130. But then, so the question is, well, I mean, how many oscillate, like you want to be in smaller time frames, and 149 stop, safe area for a stop because of this breakout here? No, I mean, no, it isn't really. This is nearly definitely divergent anyway, right? I mean, go away already. No, I have to go in a different time frame to get my indicators back up. There, right. And now where were we? Early. Yeah, I mean, this divergent and it's fallen out of the bullish control zone, which is like, okay, fair enough. But it was there for so long throughout all of this. Does that mean price action needs to come and test a horizontal like this area here in around 139? Where did you say your stop was going to be? Oh, you're not here anymore, but it's there written, 149. Yeah, no, when you come back and watch this, probably not. I mean, you can have it like, I mean, it depends what you're trying to achieve, man. Or do you see any pivot points higher up? Too much around. I don't know exactly sugar, right? Well, when you're watching this, I'd be looking at other things. I'd be saying there's little gaps all over it. And, you know, since this formation, where was price action? Broke from that gap here. I mean, it depends how tight you're, like, I'd say no. I'd say you'd want it below, I'd say no. I'd say you'd want it below 145. You'd want it in around 140. But then, you know, if it breaks there, it probably comes in around 130, you see? And at which point it might bounce, you could enter again. I mean, I'm looking at the chat box later there, but later on, you know, it could come down to 130, you could maybe enter it there with a tight stop. And if that didn't hold, like, I mean, I expect it would, but, you know, so that's what I'd be thinking. I'd want my stop a lot closer than that, but I also don't want to get taken out if it's going to go up to 250 now, and you're not going to get another chance with as much of a safe risk reward. Then I'd want it in around 143, probably. Right, that's that one. BBBY is the king of all trades. It's yourself, Ken. Here, we could look at BBBY for Ken. Ken loves this. And he would always have loved all the money in the world to be put in here. There is this potential trade on the go at the minute if you like BBBY. I think we've talked about this recently. Break above 50 simple at 149. On that 1 hour, maybe. Right, I wouldn't get excited though. So yeah. This has got a bullishly divergent low, which itself is macro. A little bit of bullish divergence there. Class B anyway. The danger of being right on the top of the bearish control zone on the 4 hour time frame is that you could just go there and that would be a nightmare for price action. Or it could bounce up and that'd be all right. That'd be quite good. You know, so really you don't want to find yourself there because you being there with the good thing being a wee bit good and the bad thing being terrible, that's not a nice situation to be in. So you can empathize with the RSI, right? And be like, ooh, that's not great. Ooh, don't like that for it. Glad that's not me. Ooh. But then if it gets out of it, you can be like, I always believed in you, buddy. I knew you'd do it. Right there, cheering you on the whole time, right? So you want to get back above that, you know, your own moving average and away from this bearish control zone now because it's actually not bullishly divergent really on its own touch. It kind of seems to have slipped in a little bit there. And you do like to see your divergence in the control zones. You know, that's another tip. People just ignore. Hey, we'll just ignore all these Tradespotting tips. I put these out all the time, right? So you go back above the. You get your stochastics are terrible as well. So, why are we like? I mean, it might go up. Hey, if it does, these two, you know, if it does, 50 simple there on a 4 hour comes in at one point. Well, that's not interesting. 236 comes in at 197. So that'd be your first target if you break the local like oscillation in the previously when this trend was still as it is terribly bad and you pushed back up to 164, right? You could get 164, you break that 194, and it does look like there's a potential trade on here because I've drawn it with a 50% retracement. But it's just your name, Ken. I mean, it's just tough when it's your name. It just makes it tough. So, because Ken asked, and I slightly distrust the thing, but like there's the very simple on the daily, and it comes in at around 250, which is 382 retracement. You cover the 194, Maybe you're looking at that. 248. So I hope you're paying attention to the things I said earlier because I've forgotten them. 1 hour time frame, 200 period moving average is 217. Maybe that's interesting. $2 for the 50 simple, and then the daily, the 200, the 50 simple again, 250. Yeah, that's the same place. You're not getting anything else. Weekly, where's your resistance? Oh, well, the weekly, you know, wow, yeah. So you had your cross and price action tested it. Came back down, that's brutal. 50 simple, price action tested it, came back down, that's brutal. And there's your, is this the 18 or what? What have I got on here? 21, fair enough, that'll do. Yeah, so I mean, test that next and at around $2. Could do, eh? Totally could do. Could do more stuff. Yeah, could do loads more stuff. What else did we miss? Was that good? Bing bong. Yo, bing bong. Who asked about this? Oh, it was Ken. It was yourself, Ken. You got me. I'm doing well, my lad, Tradespotting. Mucho grande work stuff happening. Make a Homer a busy bean. Oh, good to hear, Homer Star. Good to hear, Homer Star. Hope it be well remunerated for this work. Hope I have very lucrative work, so it is. Good on old Homer there. Become like Raven is the Bitcoin. Yes, become like Raven is the Bitcoin. Who's Raven again? It's a cool name. King. Yo, how's it going? Oh, you're talking to someone. Hello, and it's himself. Hi. Man, it looks like a survivor among that crowd, doesn't it? Although it's changed its name. That's how it got away with it. It also had reconstructive surgery, like increased the bone density in its inner skull, because you can just keep doing that. And year after year, push your features around and that, stuff like that, things and stuff. And then nobody will even know you were Do Kwon. Right, what was it? We can't name chart patterns and learn at the same time. Yeah, no, that's the well-known... The ligature in your brain, it just doesn't work for these things. It's just not the way it works. Right. Oh no, my internet connection is weakening. Oh no. Oh no. Get those hamsters back to work. They're trading all the time. I hate those goddamn hamsters. $10. Can you take a look at UEIC? You betcha. Oh my god, it got so hammered, didn't it? Here. What's that? That's not what I was supposed to be looking at. What is this interesting thing? Weird. Turquoise, what? Anyway, yes. 5 memberships as well. Boom!
Corey being on became a member.
Yeah, as if he did. He's always been. How are you, you legend? I'm very good, sir. Thanking Bitcoin has that horizontal support. Previous resistance, 1 hour test, 4 hour thoughts on targeting the flash 4 hour from here. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I like it. My thoughts are if you can manage your risk from around these levels, then you've got a lot of different opportunities. Look at those lucky people with the membership gifties. You're so lucky. You don't even know how lucky you are. They're amazing. They're amazing, them things. You know, feel free to flex with them. Great to see you, Flip Bliss. Hope you're doing good. Tell me your best to Jackie. Tam, gifted. You got 2 today, Tam. Get out of here, Tam. Million. Good on you, Million. Good on you, Million, you legend. Getting in on the old act there. Get in on it, eh? Be like Million, eh? That's brilliant. What a great day it's been. I think Ethereum will still need Mac because Trix fees will be lower. Yo. Are they not going all completely off chain though? Hey, Jimmy, could you give your opinion on GOTU? Got you? I got you. You got me, babe. I got you, babe. Yeah, Melon, no worries. Remind me in a second because it's not written down on the same thing with a bit of money next to it directly. My brain just like, you know, like everyone's brain mostly, like cause it just wipes out the non-money stuff. You know, it's stuff, isn't it? Right, so, but you did, so let me check, betcha. But I have to get things in order. And then before that was Corey yourself, sir. You got that 2 seconds, sir. No bother, Corey, you betcha. But what was it was Luke, yes. $10, thanks. Could you look at you guys? That was it, yeah. This thing, it got absolutely smacked. Smack. Right, yeah, so 1618. And then, no, wait a minute. Why have I got a line there already? Oh. Yay. Why is that line there? Okay, well, I suppose it's not the point. Anyway, there's a line there. Right, so Do these charts just come with lines or what? I mean, that one's not even like, should that not be there? But I don't know why I put it there, so I'll just leave it for now. Right, go down to the reasonable land. Ugh, here, reasonable land again. Only joking. It's 2-day time frame. That's not reasonable land. It's time frames, but society is a place, isn't it? It's a collection of places. Let's face it. It's a place. Selection is that's what society is, and that's why you can't poke it and hurt it. That's why it doesn't have feelings and so on. It's because it's just a collection of places, right? And so when people try to talk to you, say, yeah, but it's just like Margaret Thatcher did, and you know, she's dead now, and other people who said things like that, like society's not real, the only thing that matters is you and your family. It's like, well, you and your family matter in society, right? It's like language, and it's a word, and it means things, and you can pretend it doesn't exist. Or you could just come out with it and say, I'm a selfish git. Like that. You could just say that. But society definitely exists. And the way we define it, because we do, is as a collection of places, right? And you can be, they can also be described as fields, right? These places can be described as fields, and these fields can be physical locations or can be topics and categories and so on, right? And you can have skills in your field and so on. Why am I talking about this? And why have I got these lines on the chart? They're not beside anything. So I can't remember it, and it's late at night. So we're looking at a daily time frame here, and wow, that's amazing. Well, if you had got it them there, it would have worked out. This is also the problem with the inverted head and shoulders, and why you really need to be using your stop, because if they don't work out, you get the measured move the other way, which is like why the best thing about the bloody things. So like that would be, oops, get back in your box. Yes, gotcha. So like this thing breaks down. I mean, that's maybe one, that's not even, there's the low. I mean, that's pretty accurate, right? Like, I should have just drawn that on. Mind you, I kind of did, didn't I? But like, that's pretty accurate. Why am I talking about this? That probably pees you off if you're asking about this, because it's this, and you'll be like, look, I bought it at 21 and now it's 10. Stop making jokes, but you big gosh fanny, right? So, yeah, what are we saying on this thing then? Daily time frame. Wow. Jeez. Like, it got so wrecked that you're not getting anything off that. And then, I mean, it's just so wrecked right now, you're not getting anything off of that. It's like turning up to a car accident and then being like, oh, this will come back in 20 minutes. Somebody deals still with, we can make a proper assessment. So, eh? Look how bad this, I mean, you can see it too, eh? So like, there's the stochastics about to maybe potentially die again. Like, this is like, whoa, you know, like, I mean, that turns down from there. That's not good. And then this, I mean, you're talking about now there's a whole new way of using this RSI, right? If, you know, I mean, this wants to go on and create new control zones down here at like minus 100. What's the lowest the RSI on this has ever been as it happens? Yeah, this is the lowest it's ever been. Oh, there was that one time. What did that get to? 8. 8. Yeah, so I don't know if we're going to get much less than 8. This is a 2-hour time frame. Well, we've got 5 and a bit for now, but we don't think it'll ever get worse than that. Yeah, so question is now, until it gets back at least into the extreme low on the bearish control zone, instead of being massively oversold, is can this thing ever recover? That's what you would have to ask. Can this thing ever recover? Well, it's only $10. It's not like it's 50 cents. So, I mean, yeah, probably can. And then maybe this is an extreme opportunity. It's down at the 1618. Yes. This is like, I mean, if it isn't the end of the earth, then yeah, probably is an opportunity. And then stochastics are just like actually still also want to die. And you're not getting the 4-hour time frame is because things used to be bullish, that everything's got, that was such a dodgy formation. This is it. This is with the head and shoulders. Like, so what's the question though? I can answer it properly. Take a look at that, my lord. Also, do you think a test of the 200 simple moving average 393 is still in the cards for SPY? You betcha, I definitely do. I'll go back and look at those little bitty moves on SPY. in a moment now. Certainly. Cheers. And then, what was this? A question about this. Could you take a quick look at it? Yes. Okay. Right. So, I think that this is potentially an opportunity. What down at 1 hour? I mean, where are you going to find it though? I mean, price has been so wrecked so much. You'd have to be managing your risk, you know. There's no slowing down on this thing really yet, and it's a long way from temporary, blah blah blah. Right, 1289. That would be fantastic. That would be my target if it broke the high here at 1220. Again, that's that's a big percentage move, but freaking heck. Right, so I'm not seeing anything beautiful yet. Right, SPY. Definitely a potential. You have to be managing your risk. It's just like, where do you do it from, right? So immediately from here is the only way you do that, and then wait then for a reason to take the trade, and that like ahead of an impulse move, or like not ahead of it. Well, yeah, but like on the candlestick formation, it gives you the entry, or the that's all there is actually. So. And then SPY 393, yeah. So we have this crab, yeah. What was this? Right, yeah. This is the crab. This is this chart. Great. So I didn't have this up before. Oh, and this has got extensions on it and everything already. Here, this is handy. Right. So yeah, that's why I went to the clean chart. Ha! It's all coming back to me. Wait, did I just? So that looks funny. Not like that. You're so rude, eh? I meant like it's come in and it's tested this low in RSI, like whereas price hasn't. Hey, geez. Honestly, so, right. So, laughing and so on, right? It's obligatory. Yeah, some people think like, yeah, hitting the like button is super egregious, pardon me. But it's not, it's obligatory. And then as is laughing at my jokes, okay? Right, so this is the crap. And so you got your reaction, not bad. You held this level at 396. That's why you might be asking, do I think is 393 still possible? Because we had a reaction from 396, and then on the 1 hour time frame, that was a strong bullish candle. I can see where you're coming from there. It's not bullishly engulfing, though these three together would be of the three. No, they wouldn't. So it's not really it's not an engulfing formation. You've got the 50 simple holding you so far. Wait, what is this extension drawn out on the 1 hour thing from? What's going on with this? Why did I do this? This is all not real stuff. Stop it. I don't know why that's there. Pardon me for that. I don't know what that was even for sure. Right, so the 236 at 399. Yeah, I mean, it's not exceeded a 236 yet. And this low here, there's an inverted head and shoulders. And then I suppose if you drop down to the 15 minute, you probably see a sloppy one here. Yeah, something like it. It's not on RSI anymore, but then you've got a trend line here. So, like, this is why you're interested. Yeah, the bullish reaction at that stage, it managed to get back above 50 simple, but the 50 simple has just gone through the 200. That cross would have been tested, so you'd move back up. This also looks like a harmonic. Probably is. The D target on that. Now the target probably back around 397, 396. You want to be seeing this come back down from a test of 400. What was the high today? 39971, right? Which is right up there. So the 236 at 399, if it gets back above 400, it's still, yeah, I mean, by the end of the week though, where's the open interest? I gotta get the open interest up. Okay. So, where's this? Oh, here. Haha, it's my face again. It's my nearly midnight face. Right. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, so this is the bit of the show where I accidentally hit the mute button and then forget I've taken you off the chart screen and don't show you the option chain. Ha, jokes, right. So here we are. SPY. No, not today. It's useless information. It's already over already. So Friday. What's wrong with your computer? Hurry up. 395. No change. I thought we'd see a little bit more interest here. It's 400 spiking a bit more with some of this closing. None of this closed. Yeah, none of this is closed yet. So either it is going to probably come back down and test 395. Or when this does close, which will be like, I mean, it's already the Theta machines are coming awake now. In Asia now, the Theta machines are spinning. And it's only a vibrational trigger. It'll be across which one of those is it? It's the Pacific. It'll be over there in any minute now. I mean, some of you can probably hear it. West Coastonians, like, they're highly tuned to vibrations and frequencies. It's because they smoke so much weed. And they're going to be like, hearing the hums and stuff and that. And then they'll be like, oh, that's that. And they know, right? It's like smoke signals go up and then people in New York find out about it hours later. So what are we talking about? I can't remember anymore. So yeah, those people, they'll probably buy it long at 405. If it breaks 405, and the Theta machines are on, they're going to be closing that, and it's just going to, it's going to dismal. I know what I like, eh? Right? And it's because of the Bora borealis. It's the boring borealis. It's the boring borealis's fault. Look, there's no borealis. It's the boring one. So they also smoke weed. Or something, right? Science. So what are we talking about? Yes, the shorts again, driving price action again, right? If it goes above 404, but I don't think that's likely necessarily, right? The Theta machines are spinning up, and the shorts, there's not that many of them. I mean, this is the danger with the put call ratio. Like there isn't that many shorts, there isn't that many longs to close, which would be advantageous for the shorts. Obviously, there isn't that. No, I mean, if there was, and the process of closing those longs would be good for the shorts, which is why it's positive if you're looking to go long when you see a large degree of open interest to the short side expiring this week. That's very positive. And then if you then put that in a trend, where I just thought I had it there, with something like, I'm going to have to do this stupid thing again. Anyway, I've made that point, right? So, you can just see all that happening if you just look at the prices. You don't need anything, just the little prices. And you don't even need the drawings, right? And nor do you even need these moving averages there. Thank you very much. So, you can look at this alone and say, do we think 395 is possible still? Well, you've not broken the highs within the formation here. 400 important psychological number. Man, I'm sick of hearing that. Hey, are you not sick of hearing that? And I've never even heard anyone apart from me saying it. So, and there must be other people that have done, in which case, oversaturated. Man, that thing's so cliched. People need to stop saying that, right? Moving on. What? How uncool. Anyway, so, ain't nothing cool or interesting about 400. Nor is it a psychological number. It's just a number like any other, in fact. Nor is it a prime or anything. It's actually dead boring. It's a crap number. I'm not interested in 400 at all anymore. So, price action, what we're really talking about is, 400 or it coming back down, testing 393, which hasn't probably got high, probably does test it. It's downtrend, until such times it breaks up. And at which point then you'd be like, now I'm getting interested in going to the top side. And not even above 400. It'd have to be 404, which would be in like, well, I mean, we've got a Fibonacci guy over here, 404. These colors are like absolutely impossible to see. That's like only marginally better. That'd be a golden pocket retracement. Yeah, so you'd be asking for it to make a retracement back above the golden pocket. It's just come down and done this guy a little bit further. Is that accurate? Yeah. This has already made a retracement itself, price action from the most recent high there at 407, down beyond the golden pocket to fill this gap. It's had a reaction, but yeah, we checked in with this earlier, and while it is bullishly divergent between these two lows, you've actually got your inverted head and shoulders here. Did we do this? We did. We talked about that. That's what we just said. So yeah, I mean, it could go. Where is the measured move from that take you to as it happens? And where does it take you to if it breaks down? Well, chicka, probably into 390. And if it goes up to the top side, man, that's not incredibly accurate there. I could tell that wasn't even going to be straight, for goodness sake. So you might be, it's just, even if it isn't a head and shoulders, not taking you back above 404, that would be a distinct part. There's 236 coming in here from this guy. It'd be golden pocket breakdown from this guy. Is that going to start forming a Gartley as well then? So that might happen too. Yeah, I'm still thinking 393 is totally possible. Yeah. But it's all about tomorrow. Well, you suppose if you're thinking about that and talking about what will be the expiry this week, what was the max pain at that? 401. I think it's possible this week. Yeah. Just needs to fail tomorrow to break 400, and that's where it's going. I suppose you might find out tomorrow, right? Because if it goes back above 404, I don't know, right? Oh, ooh, that would be a way better place to take any trade that you will look like a 0 TD option buy rate on a Friday, aiming for 393 on a failure of it 400 having tested 404. You could get something off that. Be stupid, right? But you'd have to be. I'm not recommending anyone trade crazy like that. But anyone seen one? What are we seeing? UEIC had a rubbish financial results and published them about 3 weeks ago. Seems that's the only news on it. So they've been ditched by the likes of Vanguard. Maybe they've also gone short. Vanguard, oh, what do they like? Gardy Lou. Vanguard, but that's what they said when they ditched it. Frickin' hell, eh? Well, I mean, if you're Vanguard and you're selling something like into that, you should. What are you doing, guys? If you aren't causing that, then they probably were horrified. I'm sure they did. Anyone else seen one? No, I'm not saying them specifically. People like that. Coin equals China. Coin equals China. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I said society was a place, but I don't think places are people. Sounded like a dare to me. Oh shit! What? Who just said something? Wasn't me. Wasn't me, boss. Oh, I saw that YouTube have got new. YouTube have got new guidelines when it comes to saying sweary words, which is great for me and terrible for my haters who like to hit report on my videos. So haters, I'm sorry, but another avenue for you has now recently been shut down because I can say shit anytime I feel like it. And I can call you a little bitch because that's what you are. And no one's ever going to say anything to me about it because that's fair dues, which is a great note to end the show on. Thanks, haters, for making everything so much better. You know, if it hadn't been for them, I don't know if I'd get so much joy from all the time spent laughing at everything and being friends with you guys. But don't know if we'd have the same, you know, schadenfreude to it all. Anyone here have an opinion on... Oh, did I miss anything? I should double check. Oh, I did. Melon asked me. See, this is the thing, Melon. That was very close. Schwartzy Boy's here. 9 months. Great to see you, Schwartzy Boy. 9 months, Schwartzy Boy. Goes to Curry Bing Bong. Yes, I didn't do yourself either yourself there. Bitcoin. It's going to do what SPY does, yo. I suppose in the short term it could do something a lot worse. What's that now? 21.7. That's futures, butter. It's futures. USDT. Okay, so the question was for our 23.5 sort of target. Yeah, downward sloping channel at the minute. I mean, I should probably just use the channel tool then. Why always? I'm probably making a point, so I forgive myself. Hey, that's nice and purpley and all. Oh, I really like my previous decision there. Go, wait, right, great. So what about this? Right, so you're in this downward sloping channel, you've lost the basis line. That's not wonderful. And, I mean, it's debatable it's only got 2 touches on the bottom spot. Why don't you? Yeah, great, it's got 3 now. Well, hey, right, so that's fine. You're below the basis line, that's not great. What is that? That's a non-really confusing white line. Go away, white line. And... is this even accurate? No, it's not. She's not. Bloody up. Oops. Talking about, what was the question exactly? Fix that horizontal support, right? Well, I mean, horizontal support on the 4 hour would come in probably in around 21,350 or down at 20,350, 20,500. Those sort of levels there, and then within this trend, you were looking at 22 as being very important horizontal support down to the 15-minute time frame. When did you ask me this? It might have been, I don't know what time that was. It might have been just ahead of this, or down at that low there. I don't exactly know. Anywho, so your question though is support. Sugar, this is one of these ones you should sort of look at the time. Right, so, I mean, that's a 50-minute. It can't have been all that far away from here. I don't think this is necessarily support. I think this is losing support. Support's back up there at 22,000. So go back up to 22,000 and it's all right though. 30-minute time frame. Your momentum's not that bad, but it doesn't have to be. Like it puts in higher highs here, lower highs here. That's not good. Lower lows here as it's going up. That's not good either. Jeez. So what we're seeing this time, similar situation. It's just not very clear there. Its price action was slightly clearer that it was struggling with this. I mean, it looks like it's a potential head and shoulders there. It definitely had the lower right hand shoulder and had most recently put in a lower low. So we're on a 30-minute time frame. So so maybe you're biased. The bias is what you're talking about. It looks like it's a support, did you say? Or you're thinking, well, that'll be your bias then. I mean, you said it yourself, right? So I'm not really, unless you're saying there's a technical artifact. Oh, support previously resistance. Oh, I see what you mean. One test on the 4-hour thoughts. Oh, right. Okay, so this is reaction low then. 4-hour, that'd be it. Support here. Previous resistance. That would be these guys. I don't know what part of the formation you're talking about with respect there. I'm not sure, Corey. Anyway, what would I say with respect to your target, though? You'd have to recover the basis alignment in this formation. 4-hour, I'm not seeing that. And what yet? 1-hour time frame. I mean, sure, you've got bullish divergence, but you've not turned around. It looks a little bit bad. I'd probably expect this thing to be trying to test lower, unless, of course, the overall market's shut. So, because of that, how far is it going to go, right? Unless people completely and utterly panic, and it's not like it panicked when it fell through 22. So we'll see. 30 minutes, are they panicking? Volatility's picked up. Nah, I mean, they're not really panicking. Stochastics, everything's like crap, but that's what's taking you here. And it doesn't look like it's about to fall off. He asked for a reminder for it. I'm sure he forgot. Yeah, what was that? I have to go back to that now. What was that? It was Melon, and then he said, can you look at this thing? What was it? Somebody said it there. Melon went in the quest. Yes, what one was it? GOTU, yeah, that's it. GOTU. Ah, GOTU. Commercial services, miscellaneous commercial services. GOTU. What do they do? The technology-driven education company, good on them. Its core expertise is online K-12 course and the K-12 large class after school. What? Company's K-12 course cover all primary sacred gospel. My goodness gracious me. Right, so this is education in China. That's a big deal. That's a very great big deal. Great points though, Tradespotting. Yo, it's yourself, Corey Bing Bong. How you doing? I didn't know if you'd still be here. What did you mean more? Tell me more what you meant, and then I'll understand better. Where was the support resistance? So exactly at numbers. It was an honest mistake. Sorry I feel that way. What happened, Melon? Where are you, Melon? I'm just about to look at it. See ya. Where are you going? Yes, reported and unsubbed. What? Well, that was the first. What was the first? Why am I being ghosted? Who's being ghosted? No one's being ghosted. Your donation came in that order. I got through everyone's donation in order. What do you mean, man? Your donation... What? I don't know. I don't understand. Anyway, I think apart from that, I'm just going to ignore that because maybe, I was just about to look at it here. Never mind, bro. I just saw a gap on daily. Yo, you're still here. You all right? Melon, don't be upset like that. Melon, come on. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're let's be frank, right? Maybe you're a massive dickhead. Maybe you're a nice person, right? I don't know. But I hope that was just, a natural, slightly sensitive reaction, and in future, our relationship will now be better for it, right? Because this has happened so many times. this happened so many times with people where I've fallen out with them, and later on we're better friends. So I hope that happens with you, right? I really do. But like, let's be frank, what you reacted like there, that wasn't cool. Don't do that, right? I don't have to do anything for you, right? You sent me $2, right? I don't have to do anything for you, right? I was doing it because, not because I need your $2, right? Because I want to encourage a positive culture around here, and you were generous by donating, so I want definitely people to see I respect that. But like, let's be frank, right? You know, we're trying to do something much bigger than this. We're trying to do something way bigger than that might be possible in that interaction with me. You know, I can only upset you so much in that interaction. I shouldn't be able to upset you that much, right? You know, like I shouldn't be able to. And not only that, we're in the context of what we're trying to do here. It's so much more, right? Than not than the $2, but then worth falling out over. Right? So let's hope that that's like silliness, right? So daily time frame on this thing, right? I hope you are still interested. Yo, Purple Outside, thanks so much. I hope you are still because you know it's just yeah. Anyway, right. So what we're looking at, yeah, daily time frame. Got you, and there is a huge gap on daily. See what you mean there. Price action took a long time to fall down, despite the fact it looks so dramatic. There, 29th, 2021, and then that was brutal. So this is online education in China, and it's come back to test that gap, which is also a 382. So you would think that potentially it didn't make its way through the 382 on the first test. You would imagine that would be quite ambitious, just off the top. It'd be quite ambitious, but so far it's done quite well. Tested that area, not yet pushed through, but okay. And golden pocket retracement, I see that guy, 50% comes in at a close of the gap. So that would be a very strong target area to look to. Because this gap is so large, it might be that, you know, there would be something else that you could find within here to look to, whether it would be a Fibonacci extension target, or if you just, you know, use your Fibonacci's from the drop down points after you've got your 1.13. That'd be the first foray into this area. Might be something around 6.30. That maybe that would be what you're targeting, or it could be something off the back of this guy here. You know, you're looking at just the way I talked about the SPY at the start. You know, this is also the thing when people get upset. It's like the stuff that I was talking about, if you didn't notice, right, it came all in chronologically before your message, as far as I could tell. And if it wasn't, then I apologize, right? But it was not intentional. I was trying to keep to what would have been expected generally by everyone, so that I was being fair to everybody. And then also all the lessons in those charts are lessons that I then rely on you having listened to put across the learnings in the next one. You know, like I'll be saying things like I've said on nearly every chart, like, oh, I also said this, or this is what I was meaning when I talked about, or, you know, so many examples of the head and shoulders that Eeks was talking about. I've used it so many times throughout now. You know, this is where it all builds on, and every show's the same. And I rely on the things I'm telling you going in your head and staying there, you know, not just like from that 15 minutes to the next, but like weeks later. It might be too late to get your request in tonight. Jamie's shattered, but sure, tune in tomorrow and ask then. Yeah, damn freaking right. Yeah, yes, 100% please. Yes, yes, I'm a little bit wrecked. Right, so what were we talking about here? Right, so 1.13 would be the first foray in there. And if you're looking at this, guys, a retracement to the 236, never put in a local low. Maybe this is a bull flag. It could be the sort of thing that goes on to, you know, if you are still there, Melon, it could be on the sort of thing that goes on to, I mean, that's huge. That really is huge, but like, I'll put it on there. Come on, give me your thingy, you. Right, so if it was to break out, I mean, we would just take it from there. And then if you were just looking instead at, say, this formation itself, a little bit of a pennant, right? it's not unreasonable to say that that'd be the last within it. It probably matches up with the gap. Oh, freaking hell, it does. So, yes, if it does break above the 1.13 at 630, it's hard to argue. There's the prior low within the gap there, 899. Yeah, so I mean, this goes 630, $9, and then 980. It'd be crazy to take a trade from anywhere above 630 to 980 thinking that you were going to get out at $22, whether or not it happens, because you'd just be coming back there, right? There's literally nowhere to find support, and because it's a gap, there's nowhere, so there won't be anywhere. And I mean, on the 30-minute time frame actually just looks like a total nightmare, and maybe you don't want anything to do with this thing. So that's what I'd say. That's the answer. Mr. President. Yo, Jamie Shatler. Hey, I'm Jamie Shattered. That's a good one. Yo, good to see you. Wow. Lisa, 5 membership gifts. Amazing enough, 5 members. Whoa. Welcome to the club. Loretta, great to see you. Some guy, James. Great, James. Great to see you. To Paul Eddings, you legend. JW Media, I remember you. Black Irish of Montserrat. How's it going, buddy? Great. Good one. Great to see you, Jamie Shatler. Great name. Woohoo, Bulldog. Woohoo! It'll be an easy reminder. What was? It will be an easy remember. What will be? Your name, probably. I could say it would. I'll remember it. We appreciate all your hard work, Jamie and Rocky. You're welcome, Charlotte. Thanks so much. What's this guy's name? What do we call him? I'm called Jim. We call him Tradespotter. Like Tradespotter, like you're at the gym and you're like trying to do some reps or something, and you've got like 50 kilograms here and like 180 here. I'll come along and I'll say, look, mate, you don't want to be doing that, and I'll help you spot by say, look, just there you go, boom, and then like, there you go, and you'll be like, oh, can't do another one spot, and I'll be like, you can, Jamie, go for it, man, you got it, and you'll be like, no, I can't. I'll be like, yes, you can, Jamie, and then you'll do it, and you'll be like, oh, I don't like that. I'll be like, shut up and try harder next time, and that sort of spotter. New members, making us take advantage of the members only videos. That's what you should be doing there. Get into the members only tab. Members, go to the youtube.com/tradespotting, and then you go videos and lives and shorts, and then members, or else community, and then members and stuff like that. And it's all wealth of information and stuff. Where the F you be? I be in Edinburgh. Thanks for giving us your take on it, Jamie. Melon, you're welcome. I'm so glad you're still here, man. I really am so glad you're still here. I hope we're still mates, and don't worry about it, like everybody there in chat that's friends is probably falling out for me a little bit at least once, and if you hadn't fallen out with me, then you would have in future, and we're better getting it over now. So, there's no hard feelings, and there never would be, and hopefully we'll just treat each other with respect, and it'll be good from now on. Probably be brilliant, right? It's like that, It's like that. I do try to actually engage with the audience and know who, as far as I can, know who you are, and that people got different names on Discord and here, and they change it every so often, like would you decorating your house and stuff. So I start whole new relationships with the people, sometimes not knowing who they are. Lessons in every stream, years worth of content to catch up with. Darn tootin'. I'm still waiting for a fist fight. Solve our problems. All right, Katie, you wanna? All righty, well, I mean, sure. I'll break your jaw, Katie, but all right, let's do it. Maybe PayPal next time if no time tonight. You PayPal, you betcha PayPal. You betcha. Betcha PayPal, because it's you. Pardon me. If I got drawings here, why have I no drawings on PayPal? What? Is this no, this is my chart. What? I have no drawings on PayPal, right? So, what's this new stock PayPal? I wonder what they do. Engages in the development of technology platforms. Shut up, right? God's sake, man. Right. So, pardon me, and that, pardon me, please forgive me there. Right. So, yes. That's interesting. That's interesting. And then, Oh, what's this all about, eh? Oh, shocking, eh? That's interesting there, eh? What would you say about that one? A bit lower, is what I'd say about that one a bit there. And then that one there. And that's that. And I don't think any others matter for now. Right, so what do they say in here, though? Is there any in here? Oh, how about in here? Nah, there's one here too, look. But there's a couple of them. Jen would like those ones, especially with these previous gaps right next to it. Oh, Jen would be like all over that. Oh, this reminds me of that murder we saw. And anyway, right. What we're saying, yes, PayPal. I mean, this is pretty low. That looks like could be accumulation. What we're seeing, volatility probably picking up there. What's it like here? Something potentially. You know, the volatility came most recently with similar profile at the ultimate high there. Sure. Previous to that, it was at the inflection point before price action went up again. Right at this low, cool. And then previous to that, it was just when this thing was first starting to really trend. Right, so probably there is a move coming. Either it's a continuation of this previous breakdown and it's horrific, taking you back to $50, or it's actually quite good. And the first stop would be around 94 in the long term there. 4 hour, we'll just go straight to the 4 hour because isn't that just the way it is? Just the way it is today. We're just being like that. And what do I actually want to look here? Where's all my moving averages and all that? Everything's a way off ski. Right. There we have them. Your 50 simple and your 200 period moving average and daily are less, lower than the Fed. You would expect it though, wouldn't you? And then I see you've got your formation there. That's not bad. I see it's probably better on 4 hour though. So, I mean, I just dismissed that high until such times as you've broken it. It is diagonal line. I'm not a massive fan of them, but like a lot of bullish divergence on this most recent low. Looking left, you can see that like that double bottom there makes sense. Price action then trying higher, not significantly breaking this trend. That's fine. It does look like it's ready to make a move, yo. Does look like it's ready to make a move. Volatility on this 4 hour time frame, yes, like right, like this so perfect there. So that combined with the bullish divergence and it making its way back above a center line RSI stochastics, you turn up again now, that's really strong, and you go back through that 50 simple and 200, that's really strong, right? It probably does make a move then to 87 if that breaks around 94. And to like be honest, but you're like talking about extensions. Yeah, 97, 115 possibly makes it back up and test that pivot point there. I mean, obviously the markets would have to be good news for the markets, unless PayPal have got something specific going on, and obviously they'll be, like all financial institutions, will benefit from the increase in interest rates. So, I think there's obviously a long-term opportunity left there with PayPal, even if you don't yourself respect their brand very much anymore. They do have a lot of clout, you know, if they wanted to go around, build new companies or spin things off, they could still do that quite easily. And I'm sure they're well aware of the market share they lost because of their own incompetence recently. So they'll be employing all the latest graduates to solve those problems. PayPal near you. But that's the problem, isn't it? Like, that's another problem with because there'll never be a PayPal near you. There'll never be a PayPal near you. But they are actually pretty good when you get them on the phone and it's a problem. Like, and they've got their own current terms and conditions for things, you know. But once you get somebody on the phone and you explain things from the business side, and you know, there's a lot that can work there. My experience that there's a lot that works there for business to business on PayPal, that, you know, stuff that you might anyway, I'm not talking about that now, but like I think there's good stuff there. Holy sugars, I didn't really plan on staying on. I said to Rocky after he'd done his show, I'll go on now and do a quick one. I was supposed to do coursework and not trade press. Don't tip me. You doing it? Yo, you doing the coursework? Which coursework and not trade? Oh, you're doing the course. Yes, you're doing the coursework. I'm getting confused. The coursework can be paper trading, but I suppose you've got a specific coursework you should have and are being directed to. Good. Make it to the April without markets dumping. That'd be exciting. You're telling me it would be. Markets dumping in March would feel so 2020 at that point. Yes, I know. This is the thing, but we don't want to, like, so I thought to myself, like, the whole, we've got out of winter, so there'll be less cold and flu. So, like, we don't have to worry about COVID's impact on the markets anymore, because less people, but nah, like, no one cares, whether or not it is relevant fundamentally is one thing. But if people have heard the message, the word, the story so often, sometimes they just don't care anymore. And I think that's what's happening, So fundamental analysis, build that into your if you use it. That sometimes people really just don't give a fuck. And that's the way it is. Here, boy, I love these new terms of service, by the way. I love them. They're amazing. I can't wait till an actual fanny turns up. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to eviscerate people on the internet again. And I'll never have to worry because I get 3 cents for every 1,000 views anyway. So what's the matter? False downs in January before being reminded in February, March is where we're at right now. Yes, that's it. It's always like that. A little bit on the old February. Give you a little bit of the old slap with a wet fish. I'll break your jaw sort of thing. And now they're offered a $4 savings account. Really, that really seems a bit high. $4. $4 savings account. I don't know what that means, but if you 4%. Yes, that is much better. 4% is quite a lot, but then what's the 10-year treasury at the minute? Like, I can't believe I'm going to go to sleep soon. Yeah, that's not terrible. I mean, I would be comparing Millionaire Maker spreadsheet and the progress there to like what I like, keep yourself honest, what's like a 5% return. You probably get that somewhere if you, or like I know people can get that, so like I would at least put that in there, but also get something to look to. So did we talk about Plister? We didn't bait buckets, and I can't do it anymore. I can't go anymore. What was this? What were we saying? 4%. Yeah, no, that's not terrible on the savings account, but like, I'd be looking at 5 as like just to keep myself honest and whatnot on my own trades, and that be looking for better than that. So what were we saying? I can't remember. Tradespotting Fan Club gifted 5 memberships. Oh my goodness, it was Tradespotting Fan Club did it 11 minutes ago. How did I not notice that? Maybe I did notice that and thought of something. I don't understand. Thanks, tags. I do understand. President, you're so very generous. Thanks so much. Really appreciate. And I saw you earlier being generous. Thanks so much. Purpley Outside, been a member for 12 months in a row. Frickin' that's a whole year. Frick yeah. Doesn't matter if you do social proofs. Like the Millionaire Maker 5% thing. There will always be some fanny that needs the new YouTube service reminder. Yes, I know. I know, man. And that, like, the stuff, like, it's not like a big, it's just like, because it's what it is, right? If I want to work out, like, I want to know when they're all going to be millionaires. Like, it's for me to know when everyone's going to be millionaires. That's what it is, so that I can give you a hard time. But like, look, people, excusing me, right? And then we'll talk. I don't want to go. It's been so good, Charlie. You have to go. You go to Discord. You get over there. Get over there. Right, it was a great show. Yeah, it was brilliant, and it was great watching us. I mean, reading the chat earlier. Yeah, watching us in the chat box in Rocky's show. It was brilliant. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It's on his channel. It's brilliant. Check out his channel. It's brilliant. I've got a course. You can find links to that in the description. The Discord. You can find link that to the description. All there to help you. And I'll be here tomorrow and every day. And Rocky's there at the minute doing a show every week, which is worth it's worth hours and hours and hours and hours of your time, but it doesn't last hours and hours and hours. It only lasts a couple hours. So you should definitely get in there. Sort of thing that if you, anyway, like, put 3 of them together and it's like a course already, and it's just free YouTube videos. Anyway, I think it's brilliant. So check it out and be good to each other. Always good to each other. Thanks so much for tuning in here. Wanted to check in with a couple other things while I am here, just because I am here. So that's all right. Post-market, not much, but we got back up above 1817. That's not bad. You see, this is maybe why another reason you'll have been wondering, Lucas, by actually going down to 393 yet, or what? Because GME started recovering from that previous low here. You got your bullish divergence, both oversold at that stage. This is a downtrend and has been very negative for a while. And those time frames aren't changing anything. 15 minutes, same story. This D point on the harmonic could come slightly lower. Yeah, I'm not ruling out 393 on SPY at all. Thanks, Tradespotting. You're welcome. I'm going to go Dr. Prez before long. Dr. Prez. Yeah. Woo. Thanks, Purpley Outside. Thanks, Schwartzy Boy. Thanks, Melon. Goes to Bury Bing Bong. Did I do a proper answer, Bing Bong? Think so. I don't know actually now. Lisa. You gifted memberships earlier. I thought I'd maybe confused you with Prez. I'm so very lucky. You both did it. 10 lucky people. I didn't even catch. Some of you 5 I didn't even see at the time. Ghostly Luke Spears, $10. Thank you so much, Sir Luke. I appreciate you so much, my freaking brother Luke. Feel like you are. I've never met you. Homer Ghost member, 16 months. Yes, Homer working so hard. Who would make Homer work so hard? Somebody with some brain problem. Anyway, shouldn't say that. My lovely Pops has one. Didn't he, Did? Where are you, Did? Where is Dad? I bet he's away off watching football again. He should be here learning, Dad. You'll be there waking up tomorrow morning asking you all about these videos. And if you haven't done your work, that was helpful as always. Good one. Well, I mean, I'll be back on it more now. Bitcoin. And that I anticipate over the next couple of weeks. I'll be doing more than I've been in the previous couple of weeks. So we'll see. Either way. Right? Great. Are we all happy? Right, we're all happy? I think we're all happy. I'm going to go now. Right? Thanks very much. Hit the like button and good evening.